Hi everyone, this is your reading for the week of January 15th through the 21st. I wanted to announce really quick that I'm going to be making some changes to the channel over the coming weeks and months, so if you're curious about what new things are going to be coming in, please stay tuned because I'm going to be talking about that at the very end of this video. And before I get into the cards, I do also want to take a moment to thank all of you who have been supporting the channel and the work that I'm doing here. So thank you for watching the videos, sharing them, liking them, commenting on them. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for the feedback that you guys give me, so that helps me to make the videos better. Also, thank you for booking personal sessions with me and for donating to the channel. You guys are amazing. I appreciate you so much. And I love those one-on-one sessions I get to have with you. They're great. Also, as usual, those of you who reach out to me on a more personal level, thank you for doing that. It's really helping me to grow, and I hope that I'm helping you to grow as well. And on that note, over the last week, for some reason, and I'm not going to question it because it's been awesome, a lot of you have been sending me some amazing resources, articles and videos and just all sorts of different things that is helping to expand my awareness and to develop more skill sets and have more things that I can guide people to that will help them in their journey as well. So that's been fantastic. Thank you for doing that. One thing that I do want to say, if you are part of one of my Facebook groups, so either different functional community or different functional more than a twin flame, and you have these resources, please, please, please share them with all of us because they can help us so much. You know, we all have our different interests and our skill sets and things that we do, that we know a lot about. And I would love to get that exchange of information going, okay? What I wanted to do when I first started Different Functional, my biggest goal was to take a holistic and integrative perspective on health and well-being and personal development. That was my biggest goal. And I have my strengths, you know, I'm more into this psychology and the spirituality, but there are so many things, even within those realms, that I don't know about. And I want to be able to have access to that information myself, but I really want to provide a space where everybody can access useful information about a number of different topics and where we can collaborate. So also, if you are a practitioner of some sort, and whether that's in the physical stuff or spiritual or mental health, it doesn't matter. If you are a practitioner of a service that you feel would be helpful for people, please share that in the groups too. I really want to get this exchange of ideas going and share this information. Let's discover things together. So again, please, please, please share these resources in the group so we can all benefit from them. And if you want to join the group, I'll put a link in the description box below so you can track us down. One more thing that I do want to say before we get started, since we're at a really amazing time right now for breakthroughs and moving forward, we're about to move into Aquarius season, which is all about breakthroughs and making big changes. And we're also at a period of time where all the planets are moving direct, and they're going to be moving direct for a while, longer than they normally do. So since nothing is in retrograde, we're at a place right now where we can like full throttle move forward, get some big changes going in our lives, take some big steps forward. And what I want to do is help facilitate that process for you. So from now until the end of the month, all of my services, well, my tarot services, my life coaching services are going to be 30% off. The coupon code for that, I believe I said it as direction, but I'll look it up and put that in the description box below. And then also my power animal retrievals are 50% off. And the reason why I'm doing those at a deeper discount is because so many of you reach out to me and you're like, how do I connect to my divine guidance team? To me, your power animal is like an amazing bridge to help you connect to the rest of your divine guidance team, because power animals are a little bit different. They're not just a totem, they're not just a symbol, they're actually a spirit helper that you bring into your energy field that is right there with you in your energy field at all times. And so you can connect to them in a very powerful way. And because they are, they choose in animal form to represent them, they're much more relatable to a lot of us as well, because we can connect them to something that's very tangible and real. So they're a great bridge to help you connect to the rest of your divine guidance team. And I personally feel like a power animal retrieval is very life-changing and has an immediate impact on the way that you view things and the way that you make decisions and all of that. So I wanted to be able to help you guys access your divine guidance team in a very tangible way. So 30% off of my tarot and life coaching sessions, and then 50% off of the power animal retrievals. And the coupon code for the animal retrievals is TEAM. But again, I'll put all of that in the description box below so you can access it. All right, so now we will get into the cards for this week. All right, this week is going to be kind of a breather for us, which I think is good, because the last couple of weeks have been intense in different ways, because first, a couple of weeks ago, we really focused on connecting to source energy and our place in the universe and expanding our perception and all of that. So that was amazing, but it takes a lot of energy to do that. And then last week, we brought all of those lessons, we brought them back in, and we looked at our shadow sides and worked with our shadow again. But this week, we get a moment to just assimilate everything that we have been going through. So this week is a little bit of a breather, which I think is very much needed. I know I've been feeling a lot of intensity, and I know from my interactions with you guys, many of you have been feeling a tremendous amount of intensity too. So hopefully this week will be kind of like a, okay. All right. The first card that we have, the primary theme this week is contemplation. So this card is, contemplation is what it sounds like, but this card also talks more specifically about taking a moment to recognize all of the growing that you've been doing, all of the changes that you've been going through, and really assimilate that into who you are now. Because when we're going through all of these changes, what can happen is we're so enmeshed in that energy of like, go, 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 and I have to do this, and all of the, we've got all of this input, all of this stimuli. And it can be really overwhelming. It can be chaotic, and it's like, I'm just trying to keep my head above water. Like, I'm just trying to keep going with this. And we don't get a breather to look at the changes as they're happening. But we're getting an opportunity this week to kind of chill and to look at what we've been through over the last few months, and take a moment to recognize who we actually are now after all the work that we've been doing. How have we changed? How have we grown? What things have we let go of? Or what habits are we holding on to still? Behaviors, rituals, that sort of thing that we're holding on to still just because it's habitual, that really no longer resonates with us, that's not really part of us anymore. So this is a period of time for us to really look at everything that we've been through over the last few months and see all the ways in which we've changed and grown, and make sure that our lifestyle that we're living is in accordance with who we feel we are now. The next card that we get is, and I'm probably going to completely mispronounce this, the angel that we have with us this week is Shalegiel, the angel of snow. So I think this is really interesting, because to me, when I first saw this card before I read the description in the book, the first thing that I thought was, okay, well, it's winter, and winter is that period of time where everything is just kind of, it's that dead space, and the snow representing silence, because everything is quieter when it snows, and it's just this blank landscape, right, that we have to look at. And everything is just kind of still. So that's what I thought this card was going to mean. But no, the angel of snow is actually very joyous. It's the life that still is there in winter. Because even though everything kind of appears dead in that winter landscape, it's not. It's just in hibernation. It's just recharging. It's just rejuvenating. And that's really what we're doing this week. But we are again, going through everything that we've been through over the last few months, and we're recognizing the changes that we've been through and the growing that we've been doing, and we're preparing for spring when we're really going to start blossoming. And so we need to do this contemplation and look within in terms of taking joy in the changes that we've made and the ways that we've grown, taking joy in who we are now, not focusing on the things that we've lost, not focusing on the things that appear dead, but looking at everything through the scope of life. So even you know, even though it may seem like everything is still, that everything is silent, um, it's really just, that's an illusion, because there is so much life there that's brimming underneath the surface. There's so much life in us. A lot of us are tired because of the intensity of everything we've been experiencing, and also just because we just got out of the holiday season. So we're still recovering from that hectic period of time as well. So it's cool for us to take that moment to just relax and review everything, and we need to, but we also need to remember that there's so much life that is just underneath the surface, that we're getting ready to bloom, and we really want to focus on the positives and where we want to be headed. You don't have to, again, we want to take a moment to really look at where we've been in terms of how it's helped us to grow. So you don't have to be like full force taking action right now for this forward movement. We're still developing a vision of what we want, where we want to go, but we're seeing things through the scope of how we've changed. So we're looking at the life that's there within us. We're looking at what that's going to bloom into. We're kind of deciding what sort of blossom we're going to have when spring comes. So this is still forward movement. This is still progression, but it's kind of a quieter progression, and it's based on, right now this week, it's based on us taking a look at who we are now after everything that we've experienced. All right, so we have a few medicine cards this week. We've got 3 medicine cards that are going to be showing us like what we can focus on that will help with this. So the first card that we have is Swan, and Swan is about grace. So when we say grace, we're talking about flowing with the universe, okay? And again, taking this moment to look at the ways in which we've transformed, because we took this leap of faith. We started going through all these changes. We started letting go of things, releasing stuff. We started moving into our power. We've gone through so many changes. We've really gone through this huge metamorphosis, and we're taking a moment this week to see how much we've changed, to see that transformation up close, to really get a full view of what that means for ourselves in this moment and what that means for ourselves moving forward. And so Swan is talking about grace in terms of looking at where those leaps of faith led us, and then moving with the flow of the universe in moving forward. Just surrendering to the flow, not letting yourself be tossed about by the waves. We're talking about a flow. This is a much quieter week in terms of the energy. It's not going to be these big crashing waves. It's going to be more of a flow. This is going to be more like a stream or a slow moving river. It's going to be a quieter energy where we learn to, not learn to flow. We've been learning that, but now we're just going to be kind of floating in that universal energy and letting it guide us, and acknowledging that we are ready for that we have gone through this transformation to prepare us for this moment so that we can flow. Because part of what's going to help us to understand what we're going to be blossoming into when spring comes, part of that is that connection that we developed with source energy in the universe a couple of weeks ago, and learning that how we are already part of the flow because we are part of source and source is part of us. So Swan is just basically reiterating the lessons that we learned a couple of weeks ago and implementing all of that into our present day life and moving forward as we review all of the changes that we've gone through and this metamorphosis that we have experienced. The next card that we have is Prairie Dog, and Prairie Dog is talking about retreat. So again, we're taking time this week to just kind of pull back and look at what we've experienced, not deal with as much of the chaos around us, and just take time this week to have a moment for yourself. And not even necessarily going deeply within like hermit style, but just taking time for yourself, withdrawing from the external chaos that you've had in your life, letting yourself have a breather. You can go within hermit style if you really want to, but this is more just about taking a moment to have some quiet time so that you can have some contemplation, so that you can really see yourself clearly. Just give yourself some time. Give yourself some space from other people and the busyness of daily life. The next card that we have is Bear. And Bear is talking also about introspection. You're kind of going into this quiet space. You're going into your cave. I know this sounds kind of discordant, because I'm saying we want to pull back, but I'm also saying don't go too far into that hermit unless you really feel guided to. I know that sounds like there's a little bit of a discordance, but we want to keep a light touch with the rest of our world. So when I say, like, be careful when you're going introspective and you're going to this contemplative state, don't withdraw so much that you disconnect from everything. All right, we still want to keep a light touch on reality. We still want to keep a light touch on the rest of our environment. We want to be aware, we want to be mindful, we want to be in the present moment. We want to still experience life in the now while we're going through this contemplation, and we're recognizing the growth that we've gone through while we're introspecting. So yes, you're giving yourself some space. You're creating space around you, but you want to make sure that you don't disconnect from everything around you, because there is a difference. You can keep a light touch without being completely immersed in what's going on around you. So again, this is a balancing aspect where we are taking time for ourselves, but we're also making sure that we maintain our connections to the people around us, to the world around us, and to just life. We don't want to lose touch with all that life is. All right, so moving into the cards we're going to start with the masculine energy. So how is all of this affecting those of you who carry more of a masculine energy this week? The first card that we have is Kuan Yin gives us Tai Chi Rising. And I've been seeing this card come up a lot lately for masculine energies. And basically the emphasis with Tai Chi Rising, it's usually about your energy field expanding. But the message that I got this week is that this is not so much about your energy field expanding right now. This is more about seeing the ways in which your energy field has been expanding over the last few weeks and months. It's connecting to the spiritual growth that you've experienced, essentially. So again, this is a contemplative state where you're really looking at the ways in which you've grown on a spiritual level, where you have enhanced your connection to your intuition or maybe to your divine guidance team, looking at the ways in which you have spiritually evolved, where you've really connected more to source energy, where you've connected to the present moment, where you've connected to other people in new ways, where you have grown in terms of your spiritual connection to everything in the way that you view things through more of a spiritual and intuitive lens. So this is not as much about active energy field expansion this week. This is more about looking at how you have grown spiritually over the last few weeks and months, and it's stabilizing the energy field expansion that you've had. Because when you go through this kind of energy field expansion, that energy can be kind of volatile because you've experienced an influx of it that you don't know how to manage, because you're not accustomed to dealing with that much energy in your field. And this can even manifest in very tangible physical ways, where you recognize all of a sudden that your computer keeps crashing every time you touch it, or the lights keep going out in your house as soon as you get home. Things like that can even happen when you're going through an energy field expansion, because that energy is so volatile. It's a huge influx that you don't know how to manage yet. And you've been going through a lot of these sorts of expansions over a very short period of time. And you've been, kind of sort of keeping up with it as best you can, but it's been like again and again and again, just like one right after another. So this week you're taking a moment to just really stabilize that energy, make sense of all of it, recognize the ways in which you've grown, and really getting a grasp on how to work with that energy that you now have. The next card that we have is Crow, and this one was kind of interesting for me. I'm accustomed to Crow being, like with the medicine cards, more associated with universal law, and Crow still is here. But one of the things that this particular card talks about is a legend in which Crow was not originally black. Crow was originally white, and then he was tossed into flames, and it changed his color permanently to be black, you know, from the char. And I found like this was really interesting because we're talking about this metamorphosis that we've been going through, where we have shifted. Everything about us has really shifted over the last few months, especially since summer. There's been this huge metamorphosis, and so who you are when you look in the mirror is going to be different than who you used to be. You've changed that much, and this week you're going to be seeing that more than ever before. But what's beautiful about this is it shows how strong you've been. It shows how much potential you had that you've built on. It shows all of these ways in which you've grown that you didn't really have a full grasp on before, because you were so busy going through the experience of changing that you couldn't see the changes. You didn't even have time to look in the mirror because you were so busy. But now you're going to be seeing those shifts and changes. You're going to be recognizing that you've gone through this transformation and you've become more powerful, because through this process, you know, Crow, similar to the phoenix, you know, Crow rose from the ashes. You know, that is when you come out of a significant amount of adversity or challenges or just a lot of chaos. Okay, when you come out of that and you have a moment to breathe, you can look at the ways in which your power has grown. So it's not just that you've changed, it's that you've become more powerful, it's that you've become stronger, you've become wiser, all of those things. So Crow is really representing that as well. And Crow, of course, is still associated with universal law and that connection to source energy. So you're seeing more of that this week as well. So this is really a culmination point this week, where you're getting a moment to review everything, and you're seeing the ways in which you've become more powerful, that you've connected more to source energy and to the universe, and you've become more adept at working with the universal energy. You've become more confident in your abilities. So this is a really great time for you to really to take a moment to allow yourself to honor and respect what you've just gone through and what it contributed to and who you are now. That's really important, I feel, this week. And I get like this huge flood, like this rush of love that I feel in my heart right now, because we all have grown so much. So take this time to really honor how far you've come. Really see yourself clearly. You know, let go of any of the self-limiting beliefs. That's something we've also been working on. Really see yourself and how incredible you actually are because of how you've risen to these challenges and you've overcome all of these obstacles. The next card that we have, Isis, gives us the Goddess of 10,000 Names, and this is about integration. So this is about looking again at who you've been, what you've been through, and really reviewing, like, do I still fit into these roles that I thought I did? And maybe you do and maybe you don't. It's not a right or wrong answer here, because these roles can be, you know, being a father, being a husband, being a boss. It can be anything, all right? So it's not about good or bad here. It's about, again, reviewing how you've changed and looking at your life and seeing, do I still fit into these roles? And if I do fit into these roles, like, how have I changed within them? How have things shifted? And then it's bringing everything together and not looking at yourself in a compartmentalized way, which masculine energies have a tendency to do, is to compartmentalize things, because it simplifies things. It makes it more logical. It makes it easier to put the pieces together. But this week, again, you're focusing on everything that you've gone through, how it has shifted and changed you, and you're bringing everything into integration, because that helps you to work with that energy, all of that energy that you've recently acquired. It's helping you to bring that into balance, helping you to stabilize it, direct it, know how to work with it, that sort of thing. So you're going to be looking at all of the different aspects of who you are, all of the roles that you fill, and seeing if they still apply, and if they do still apply, how have you changed in them, and then how can you bring everything together so that you're seeing yourself as one whole being instead of being compartmentalized. And then we have the god that's helping you is Akhat, and Akhat is about dedication. So Akkad is the god of tattoo artists, and if you have a tattoo, well, even if you don't have a tattoo, you know that that's on you forever. You can go through the painful process of getting it removed, but even that leaves a scar. The tattoo never completely goes away. So whenever you get a tattoo, it is a big step. This is a dedication. You're committing yourself to having this mark on you for the rest of your life. And so we're really looking at how that applies to the present moment, to where you're going now, because this is a period of time. All of this support that the universe is giving us for forward movement, it's saying, you know, what are you willing to commit yourself to? Because whatever path you decide to take, you're going to have to dedicate yourself to it. Because yeah, we have all of this potential for forward movement. It's a beautiful time for us to take strong steps forward, but you have to be dedicated. You have to be committed. You're still going to have to work for it. And it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be horrible. You know, work doesn't have to be tedious. It doesn't have to be something you hate, but you do still have to work at it. That's part of the human experience. Well, it's part of growth in general. It's not even just part of the human experience. I, for one, believe that even deities continue to grow and change. That's something that we're always going to be doing, and it takes a level of dedication. So the divine is really asking you this week, what is it that you want to accomplish? What is it that you really want to be and do now that you can see all the ways in which you've changed? What fits you now and what doesn't? Do you need to reevaluate your goals? Whatever it is that you want to do, you need to dedicate yourself to it, because that's the only way you're going to be successful. And that's true all the time. But right now, there is such a gift that we're being given by the universe that will allow us more freedom to move forward, more freedom to make positive changes and to bring abundance and prosperity and love and all of that stuff into our lives. So whatever your goals are, invest yourself in it. This is about investment and commitment. All right, so in terms of what circumstances you may find yourself facing this week, the first card that we have is the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is about a conflict. It's not a dangerous conflict. It's unlikely anybody's going to die from it, but you know, bruises may ensue and hurt feelings and that sort of thing. But the message that I'm getting from this is that if something like that arises for you this week, and I don't feel like this week is as much about an internal conflict, because sometimes I view it that way, but the message that I'm getting this week is that this isn't about an internal conflict. This is about the potential for there to be external conflicts. But what's really important is that you not engage in them. Just don't engage, all right? Because everybody's going through these changes. Some people are still in that feeling, that energy, being very overwhelmed by it, especially if they haven't gone through a spiritual awakening and they don't know what's going on. They don't have a frame of reference. They don't understand what's beneath, what's behind all of these huge changes that are going on in their lives. Because a lot of systems are crumbling at a global scale, but also on a very individual level. A lot of people's lives have felt like they've been crumbling for a while. And if you don't have a frame of reference for that, and you don't have that connection to your intuition, your divine guidance, and your spirituality or universal energy, you can feel very overwhelmed. You can get defensive. You can get aggressive. So it's possible that you may be running into situations this week with people who want to have confrontations. They want to fight you. They want to be aggressive. They want to attack you in some way, shape, or form. They want to spread gossip about you. They just want to make things challenging for you. They want to make it hard for you for whatever reason. So you may run into these situations this week, but the important thing for you is just to stand in your integrity and not engage. Just leave it alone. Just don't even mess with it. It is not worth your time. All right, the next card that we have is the Ten of Pentacles. This is part of why you want to just leave these things alone. Don't engage in needless confrontation, because the Ten of Pentacles is like, it's a completion point. Your tens are always about completion, so you've reached the end of a cycle, you're getting ready to move into a new one. But the strongest message that I got from the Ten of Pentacles is that you are building your empire. That was the exact phrase that was given to me by my team. You are building your empire. Don't let yourself get dragged down by a bunch of stupidity, okay? I'm just going to call it like it is. Don't engage in a bunch of stupidity. It's needless confrontation. For some people, it may stem from them being jealous of you and the changes that you're making, success that you're starting to see. people not wanting you to succeed. Maybe you have these great ideas and you're excited about moving forward with them, and people are trying to drag you down and tell you it's not possible. You need to not engage, and you need to not fall for that stuff, because you are building your empire. All right, you are building something incredible right now, and you don't want to fall into a bunch of stuff that's just going to hold you back, you know, because people, not everybody has your best interests at heart. All right, as much as we would love them to, as much as we may want the best for people, not everybody is in that space, because we're all at different places in our own growth, and not everybody has your best interests at heart. So don't get involved with those people, don't engage in it, and just focus on building your empire. Focus on dedicating yourself to what it is that you want, and focus on seeing yourself clearly so that nobody can make you doubt your abilities. All right. The next card that we have is the Three of Pentacles. So on the flip side, well, you have some people who don't have your best interests at heart, who may challenge you, who may want to fight with you or cause problems for you. The Three of Pentacles talks about teamwork. So you're kind of in this middle ground. You know, you are in this context, you are the Ten of Pentacles, and on one side you've got all these people trying to cause problems for you, but on the other side you have people who want to work with you, who want to collaborate with you, and they want to help you. So don't shut yourself off from everybody. Don't be paranoid, okay? Be mindful, be aware. You have a strong connection to your intuition now. Utilize that so that you can use discernment, because the last card that we have for you is the Seven of Cups, and the Seven of Cups talks about basically your hopes and your fears. So you fill these cups with whatever it is that you're wanting, but what can happen here is you can fall into illusion. And this may happen in your interactions with other people, which again is why it's going to be important for you to take some time to yourself, to go into that contemplative space, to create quiet space for yourself, to retreat a little bit so that you can get a clear perspective, because you really want to use discernment. Because while yes, you have people that want to cause problems for you, there are people that genuinely want to work with you to help you get to reach your goals, and people that you can assist as well. So don't shut off from everybody. This is another reason why it's important to keep a soft touch in terms of staying connected to the rest of your world and not going completely hermit style, because you don't want to miss some of these opportunities with the people who are wanting to work with you and have this teamwork and collaborative effort. So use your discernment, okay? All right, so for the feminine energies this week, so those of you who carry more of the feminine, let's see what we've got going on for you. The first card that we have this week, Kuan Yin, gives us the Sacred River Yangtze. And the Sacred River Yangtze is talking about just flowing. So we're having a connection here to Swan, which we had for one of the mutual cards. So you're at a point this week where, for you, taking that moment of contemplation, you're going to be taking that moment of contemplation, but you're still going to be flowing. This is not a stop. You're not stopping. You're not shutting yourself off from everybody. You're not closing yourself into an actual cave here. This is about you being able to have those introspective moments, to have that contemplative space in motion. All right, again, this is going to be a calmer energy. These are not going to be big crashing waves. This is going to be a steady stream that you can just float on, and it's important that you let yourself, because what may happen is, because of all of the chaos we've been going through and these big crashing waves, when the water goes calm, that could almost make you more nervous and be like, but everything was crazy and now it's all calm. What's wrong? What's about to happen? And you could expect the worst. So it's important that you not do that. Recognize that this is a period of time where you get to review everywhere that you've been and how you've grown, but you're still moving. The universe is still guiding you. It's still taking you in the right direction. So just enjoy the ride. Your focus this week is on recognizing your growth and then just moving with the universe and letting the universe take you where you need to go. The next card that we have, the animal that you've got working with us this week, is Scarab. And Scarab, somewhat similar to Crow, is talking about regeneration. Okay, so scarabs have been kind of a symbol of regeneration for a long time, and they are beautiful creatures too. Their sheen, you know, it's, trying to think how I want to word this. to a degree, again, almost like Crow, you're recognizing the different ways that you present based on the way the light hits you. That's really what Scarab is connecting you to. There is this regeneration because you've gone through all of these changes, but these changes have brought you into a greater awareness of all of the different facets of yourself. So, you know, similar also to like a jewel, the way the light shines on it is going to affect the sheen that's on it. It's going to reflect, it's going to shift the way the light refracts and reflects off of it. So this is a period of time where you can really connect to all of the facets of yourself. You're not integrating them quite in the same way that the masculine energies are, but this week you're going to be recognizing that you already are integrated, and that the part of you that you present most strongly in any given situation is based on the way that the light is coming in, the way that you're perceiving situations, the way that things come to you. Again, this is flowing with the universe, and just allowing the universe to move you around a little bit so that the light can shine off of you in different ways, so you can represent different aspects of yourself more strongly. It's not that you are compartmentalizing either. You are integrated. It's just different aspects of you are going to shine more based on the situations you find yourself in, that the universe takes you to. And it's important that you focus on that being a smooth transition, and still recognizing that regardless of which part of yourself you're presenting, you are still integrated. The next card that we have, Isis, brings us the Chariot of Ascension. And the Chariot of Ascension is very much talking about you know, our spiritual evolution, and you've reached a new place within it, where you can flow more freely with the universal energy because you have more of an understanding. The Chariot of Ascension is also associated with the Merkaba, our light bodies, and the ability to travel through space and time, to gain more wisdom, and to you know, basically that concept of being kind of a multi-dimensional being. And you're connected to all of those things now in a way that you weren't before you went through all of these changes. And because of that, you have more of an understanding of your connection to source energy, to the universe, and that will allow you, if you connect into it, if you tap into that, it will allow you to flow more freely with things, to see the ways in which you're integrated, and to represent different aspects of yourself at different times based on what is called for in that moment. And it will be a very natural progression for you. You'll know exactly what you need to do in each given moment. And it's not that you're being a different person in each given moment, it's that you are responding to every situation as a fully integrated being. And it's a very smooth process for you because you recognize yourself as a whole being, and you recognize that you are source and source is you. You feel fully connected, basically. So this is a week where you want to focus on that. Focus on how all of your growth has led you to this point where you're fully connected, and that you can respond to every given situation from a place of wisdom and grace. The next card that we have, the goddess that we have working with us this week, is Hathor. Hathor is talking about contentment, and Hathor is a very gentle goddess. She is associated with fertility and all of that, so you have this life-giving energy to you. And you, I do get the impression this week that the feminine is going to be providing a lot of life energy to others, not in the sense that it's draining us, but in the sense that we have it to give because it's free-flowing energy, because we are connected to the universe. And so we don't feel as limited by our own energy field because we can pull from that universal energy to give to others. We are a conduit this week, basically, and we are recognizing that. That is a big part of what this flow is. If you actually work with the flow, you're going to be seeing how you are a conduit so that you can provide this life-giving energy to others in multiple forms, whether that is a very tangible form and you're taking care of children, making sure they're fed and stuff like that, or whether you are providing this in more indirect means where you're being an inspiration to someone, or you're being very supportive and loving. You have so much to give, and a big part of that is because you're not limited by your own energy reserves. You're becoming a conduit through which the universe can operate more effectively. So with Hathor, you're not only moving into more of a state of contentment where you're just allowing yourself to flow with the universe, but you are being given an opportunity to bring that contentment to others in so many different ways that will help calm the chaos in their lives as well. This is especially pertinent to situations where you're dealing with people who, again, have not gone through a spiritual awakening, where they are not aware of why these things are going on in their lives. They feel defensive. They're kind of like an inflamed nerve. There's pain, there's anxiety, there's the inability to see things clearly because of how much pain there is. The feminine energies this week have the opportunity to bring a sense of contentment, connection, peace, and relief to others. So make the most of that. And again, this is why it's important for you to keep a soft touch on the rest of your world, because you don't have to disconnect completely in order to go into this contemplative space and to see yourself clearly. You now are at a spot where you have the capacity, you've grown to the point where you have the capacity where you can stay connected to the rest of the world and still connect deeply to yourself. You can do both now. All right, so what you've got going on this week, we have going on this week. The first card that we have is the Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles, it's you know, give and take, that sort of thing. But this is also a card that is about charity, being generous, giving freely, that sort of thing. And again, because you are a conduit for the universe, you have the ability to give more than you would have been able to in the past without depleting your own energy reserves. The more you can connect to that universal flow into source energy, the more freely you will be able to give, because you will be opening that, you'll be, in my shamanism training, we refer to it as being the hollow bone, where you are your own being. You are still your own being, all right? But you can allow this energy to flow through you and it doesn't deplete you. That's kind of what we're going for. We're trying to be the hollow bone. So that's what the Six of Pentacles is that you're going to be in situations where you're called on to give to others. And you may feel a little bit anxious about that because you've been going through a lot of chaos up until recently. And again, you can kind of freak out when the waters go calm. So you're like, oh, what's going to happen? And so if somebody comes to you and they need something from you, you could react very quickly in a way that's like, no, I'm out. Like, no, because you don't know what's going to happen. You can feel scared about that. But don't fall into that, because things have calmed now, because it's the time for you to really connect fully to all of the growth and lessons that you've acquired over the last few months, and you can actually start implementing them in ways that will be beneficial for you, but that will also will enhance your ability to serve others. So the next card that we have kind of talks about that too, because it's the Empress. This is the point that you have reached. Or at least if you connect to it this week, okay, you still have to put in the work. You still have to dedicate yourself to recognizing your growth and your connection to the universe so that you can become that hollow bone. But if you do that, you'll be moving into that Empress energy. And the Empress energy is like, to me, the Empress is the most powerful feminine energy in the entire tarot deck. She is the kind of the best of all things that are feminine. You know, she has the strengths of the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. And I believe she also has a lot of the strengths of the High Priestess as well. So to me, she really is the epitome of the feminine energy in its highest vibration, and connecting into Hathor as well. A lot of similarities there, where it is, you know, this life-giving energy too. So again, we're being shown that yes, we have the ability to be in that Six of Pentacles energy, where we can be generous, where we can be charitable, where we can give freely, where we can love, and it's safe for us to do that. We're not going to deplete ourselves in that process, because we're at a point now where if we tap into it, we can have mastered being that hollow bone and allowing that source energy and the divine energy to flow through us freely, so that we can give to others and not deplete ourselves. The next card that we have is the Two of Cups. So the Two of Cups could be a number of different things. This could relate to a romantic relationship. That's usually how people see it. What I'm getting more of this week is that this has a lot to do with just connections to people in general, meaningful connections that are based on, you know, that heart connection, a very soulful connection that where you have, again, the ability to give, to fill the cups of others, because you have enough to give. You have more than enough to give. And you're going to be developing relationships with people this week that are very heartfelt, that are very meaningful. I actually see a lot of feminine energies this week, kind of breaking down into tears that are very positive, because you're feeling a lot of love this week. And the next card, the final card that we have for you is, for us, is the Strength card. And the Strength card is talking about using compassion, using love, and recognizing that it is your most powerful asset, and that it is so much a part of you, and that it can calm anyone. You can bring people the sense of contentment, of calm, of peace, of relief. That is what you have the potential to do. Just like the woman in the Strength card calms the lion, you know, this animal that so many people are fearful of because it's at the top of the food chain. So, you know, you have the capacity to bring even the most aggressive of people into a place of calmness, and just helping them to feel safe to just be, where they don't have to force things, they don't have to be aggressive, they can just be. So the feminine this week has the ability to really bring things into balance for people and help them have a safe space where they can just relax, they can just be, where they can feel relief from the chaos or the pain that they have going on in their lives. It's a beautiful energy for the feminine, and it really is kind of that embodiment of what we think of as being feminine, you know, that life force energy, that compassion, love, nurturing, that sort of thing. This is something that's going to come very naturally for you this week if you carry a lot of the feminine energy, because you are more connected to that aspect of yourself, and more connected to the universe and how the universe flows through you to nurture others. All right, so that's what we've got for the reading. Let me touch really quickly on the changes that we're going to be making to the channel. So, and I would actually love to get some feedback from you guys on this, to know what topics you might like me to cover. I'm going to start doing some videos that are more informational. I had originally done that when I first started the channel, but I haven't done it in a really long time because I just got sidetracked with everything, and I want to go back to doing that. I might even redo one of the ones that I did before about connecting to your spirit, to your divine guidance team, but I want to start doing more videos that are, you know, resources that help you. So if you have any thoughts, excuse me, if you have any thoughts about things that you would like me to cover, please send those to me. And if I have enough, if I feel like I can, if I feel like it's something I have enough information about, I will do so. I'm also going to start doing some live streaming, which, to be perfectly honest, I am really nervous about. I don't know why. I do these videos all the time. I don't know why live would be so much more intimidating, but I'm finding myself very intimidated by it, so it's going to be a leap of faith for me to do that. Again, if you have any topics you would like me to cover, please let me know about that. I want to be able to start doing these live streams because I want to have these direct interactions with you guys, so you can ask questions in real time as I'm talking about something. So, and so that everybody can see those interactions as well, and we can all assist each other. So it's not just about all of you coming to me for guidance and asking me questions. When we can put these questions out there within a live chat, then other people can answer as well, and you might find resources that are even better suited to your question than I am, that sort of thing. So I really want to start doing these live streams because I think it's a really great way for us to start interacting with each other in more meaningful ways and developing connections that are going to be beneficial for all of us. The other thing that I'm going to be doing, and I'm working on collaborating with other practitioners right now, just finding people who do different sorts of things and have different skill sets and education, all of that. What I'm going to be doing, hopefully I'll be able to start doing this sooner rather than later, but I'm going to start bringing people on as guests on the channel to talk about, you know, different things I just don't know that much information about. I have a few people already that I'm pretty excited to work with, So over the next few weeks, hopefully, if not the next few weeks, hopefully in the next couple of months, I'm going to start bringing people on as guests so that we can really exchange ideas and get more resources out there. It's so important for me to start really building that network. That's what I've always wanted to do from the very moment that I started this business, is create a network of people who do all sorts of different things, who know all sorts of different things, so that we can all benefit from it, and we can really get a fully integrated experience in our personal development and our growth. And so we can really build our social network. And I know a lot of you, who contact me because you're getting ready to launch businesses of your own. You're trying to kind of find your direction. You're looking for people that you can collaborate with. This is a great opportunity for all of us to make more meaningful connections that will assist us in being of service to others, but will also assist us in our own personal growth. So that's basically the changes that I'm going to be making to the channel. I'm also going to be making similar changes to the groups that I operate. So again, if you have awesome resources, please share them in the groups. If you're not part of the groups, please join the groups and share these resources. Let's get an exchange of information going. One of the most challenging things that I've been dealing with in these groups is that I'm trying to engage conversation. And it can be really hard to break the ice between people, especially people who are at a distance from each other. So I'm really looking for people who want to contribute in those ways, who have useful information to share, who are practitioners that can offer services and help people. It does not even matter if your ideologies about something are in conflict with my ideologies about that particular thing. Because honestly, and I've said this before, I view truth as being something that is very subjective. Reality is very subjective, and it's based on how you perceive the things that you go through, perceive your environment. So what is truth to me, what is reality to me, may not be the same for you. And I still want to be able to provide a space where you can access people who are more in alignment with where you are at and what you feel and what you believe. So even if the things that you focus on are not completely in alignment with the things I focus on, even if our ideologies are different on some things, that is totally cool. Like, still share that stuff in the groups, talk about it. Let's talk things out, because I'm not trying to create a space that is just in alignment with my belief structures. That's totally not what I'm trying to accomplish. And I know some of you who are in the groups have come to me and they're like, well, I thought about sharing this with the group, but it doesn't really go in alignment with the sorts of things that you talk about, so I thought I better not. No, please share this stuff in the group. Seriously, I really want us to have this exchange of ideas, because my ideologies and perspectives shift too. I'm open to that, and I hope that all of you are open to that as well. Letting yourself be guided to new truths, new perspectives through greater wisdom and awareness and understanding. But we have to branch out of our comfort zones in order to do that. That's really what I wanted to provide, is a space where people can branch out of their comfort zones and review their belief structures, compare it to other ones, and see, like, wait, is this still in alignment with me, or does that make more sense to me? And using your discernment, obviously, not just going with whatever anybody says, even if they seem like an authority on a topic. But this is a wonderful opportunity for us to really share our ideas and help shift our perspectives and bring things into greater integration and to collaborate. That's what I want. I want to create this network. So if you're in the groups, please share your resources. If you're not in the groups, please join the groups and share your resources. It would be so appreciated. And if you are a practitioner that does whatever it is that you feel might be helpful for other people, and you want to collaborate with me, shoot me a message, and we can talk about it, and we'll see if it's a good fit to have you as a guest on the show, or a guest contributor on my blog, or more of an active presence in my Facebook groups. I want to collaborate with people. So send me messages. Let me know if you're kind of trying to get your name out there. If you have valuable resources that you can share with all of us, I'm down for it. All right. So let's start exploring together. Let's get out of our comfort zones. Let's connect to other people. Let's connect to the rest of the world. Let's get things flowing. All right. Okay, so that's all I've got this week. You guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you next time.